Hi all, and welcome to another rated rapid game. My name is Waldemar Moes from Better Your Chess. I've just issued a challenge, and let's see if there's someone out there accepting the challenge. Yes, hi Alexei, 1973. Okay, so what to try? Knight f3 is my newest find recently. Let's see how they react. Okay, so knight f6, d4. Let's play a queen pawn opening. And now, are we going with the London system? Which is not so good because I've developed my knight on f3 before the queen's knight. I always prefer to develop the queen's knight then. But I suppose we could just maybe try and play for a normal queen's gambit. Okay, he's going for a Slav. Knight c3 I will play. He plays this line. Okay, funny stuff. I already don't know what to do. I'm out of book, as they say. There are so many moves here. There's b3, there's c5, there's bishop g5, there's e3. E3 looks like a normal move, but should I be playing that? E5 is also interesting, huh? Yeah, let's just play a normal move. Let's play e3 here. But I'm pretty sure he's prepared. He knows what he's doing, and I don't really know what I'm doing. So he's abandoning b7 and he's penning my knight. I would like to play h3. I can recapture on f3 with the queen. Yeah, now there's the interesting try maybe of g4, bishop g6, knight e5, knight b to d7, and then h4. He takes on e5, I take on e5. I'm hitting the knight. The knight can go to e4, for instance, or to d7, but then I seem to be winning the pawn on d5. It looks interesting. Let's try. I don't know if it's correct, theoretically. There was also queen b3, but then probably the very typical rook a7 would have been played. Okay, let's chase that bishop a little. Also, if now knight d7, I might just take on g6, play g5, and win the pawn on, yes, the pawn on d5. Well, let's try and be a little bit consistent about it, huh? Yeah. Okay, so now he wants to tuck the bishop away, but that's the whole deal, you know. That was the whole deal. Now I want to try and hit, of course, g6, but how am I going to do that? Bishop d3, king f7, queen c2, something like that. Looks very nice. I think I can allow him to take on g4 in that case, because I should just have a good position. Bishop d3 just looks very logical, so let's not think too long about it, huh? That's always my biggest weakness. I was trying to make well-informed moves. Okay, so far I'm happy with my play. Of course I have some advantage now that I manage to weaken all those light squares here around his king. Threatening now to take with check this very weak pawn. So I'm anticipating king g6, king f7 I wanted to say, but he is going well. I can take the pawn already, huh? I mean, he can't really go g5 because I would take that and then his rook on h8 would be hanging. So I'm also wondering if there is now maybe another move for me to try and continue the attack, like e4 looks very strong. e4 might just be very strong. I can also just take the pawn on g6. Then maybe he takes on c4. Still, I'm clearly better there after e4 and d5. And then, of course, I can also just take on d5 and then take on g6. Okay, so now the position is so strange that I don't really know what the best move is. So let's try and play according to principle a little bit. His king is now in the center. Cannot castle anymore. So what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to open up the position, yeah? So let me just see. So the king is my big target. Then, of course, there's also a target here that I'm hitting twice. Then there's a target here that I can hit like that, but not for the moment because he will play this move. I can also try and play e4. Just looks very strong somehow. But why not just take that pawn? What's wrong with taking that pawn? I don't get it. Why don't you play simple chess? Let's just play simple chess. We take on d5. The quote-unquote problem there is that he will take with a c-pawn, and then his knight will be able to develop to c6. But you know, his king is still so awkward in the center, and I have this beautiful extra pawn. Should be worth something. I mean, it cannot be wrong. So let's just go for that, yeah? Thinking way too long about this. But probably when we analyze the game afterwards, he will indicate, there was something way stronger here, and it could have been e4. It's always difficult for me as a human being to try and play these more computeresque moves. But then again, you know, it's allowed to play like a human being. Aha! I don't like that move too much, to be honest. Because now this pawn is no longer here, and that means that sometimes I have an extra check, and the knight will not be able to develop to c6. I think he should have taken there with the c pawn. He hopes to get into safety. Now, what looks very normal here is that I will try something like bishop d2, queen goes, and then rook c1. How should I consolidate the position now? I don't really feel like castling kingside, huh? Okay, so look at my targets. Look at my targets. Still, this is a target that can be hit like this. Still, the king is a target like this. It's a check. But maybe I should just be happy now and consolidate. I'm up a bishop pair. I'm up a position. I'm up a pawn. Once I get to connect my rooks, for instance, I'm also threatening g5. Yeah, I'm threatening g5. Okay, so let's get rid of the paint and just also ask, what is he threatening? What I also like, for instance, about bishop d2, which is the first move that comes to mind, is that I'm eyeing this, huh? Yeah. So I'm not afraid of knight e4. I'm actually not afraid of any move here. So I'm just going to develop bishop to d2. And then the next question should be, where does the queen go? You know, if the queen goes to f3, then I'm protecting my rook on h1. I'm also sort of dominating the knight on f6 even more with my light squares. But maybe the queen should go to b3. Eyeing that king, huh? Eyeing that king side. It's somewhat difficult to figure out where the queen should be. Maybe the queen's actually vulnerable on f3 because of bishop d6 and rook f8 and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, then queen b3 feels like a very logical place to go. If he stays on c7 for too long, then rook c1 is threatening knight d5, knight d5, queen takes. Yeah. On the other hand, queen f3 is... No, it's not really threatening queen f4, because there's always this bishop d3, bishop d6, excuse me. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go with queen b3. Not completely sure. Not completely sure. There's also queen c2. Queen c2 is also not bad. Queen c2 also not bad. Wait a second. Am I going to give up the g-pawn? What am I thinking? What am I thinking? Queen f3, bishop d6, g5, pawn takes g5, pawn takes g5, rook h1, queen h1. There's also f3. Yeah, but that's a slow move. I really want to try and play a good move here. Come on. Castles I don't like. So maybe queen f3, bishop d6 really is the way to go for him. And he still has some sort of a position, huh? He still has some sort of a position, yeah. There's rook g1 maybe protecting that pawn, but again it's a slow move. I don't like it. Well, queen e2 is there. Yeah. Queen f3, bishop d6, g5, takes, we exchange on h1. And yeah. Okay, this always happens to me. It's a winning position and I just don't know what to do. f3 is probably very solid, but then bishop d6 threatens a check on g3, so I don't like it. It must be a queen move. Bishop f5. Well, this whole bishop d6 and rook f8 business is maybe not such a big deal. Maybe I should play faster than this. Knight a4, but it doesn't really threaten bishop a5 check. Rook c1 also doesn't really threaten anything. Yeah, I'm not going to give up that pawn. I'm not going to give up that pawn. Well, I think we'll just have to play something because I don't have time left on the clock. Would be really a pity if I somehow managed to lose this game, huh? Bishop d6 must be the move. Yeah, bishop d6, definitely the move. Shall we just play for consolidation now? Castles, king b1 and rook c1 and stuff, and I've got everything connected, huh? Yeah, it just looks fine somehow. Let's go. I mean, rook f8 is maybe not such a big deal if I just play king g2, queen g2. Okay, now the rooks are connected, so yeah. Still not really afraid of what's going on here. Let me just... he is threatening, I think, a knight e4, so let me just sidestep. Yeah, I'm still very much, how to say, harmonized here. Much more than he is. I need king b1 and rook c1, and I should be fine. Yeah, let's just go with my gut. So he wants to go there, of course. And now also an idea is, well, bishop f5 is nasty. But how about challenging his knight, huh? There's not a lot of time. There's not a lot of time. What's my bishop on d2 going to do? How's that piece going to contribute? Maybe f3, e4. f3, e4, open up for the bishops, huh? Bishop f5 is also nice. I just don't have any time. He only thought for 3 seconds. What is going on? I mean, what on earth is going on, really? I just can't make it work somehow. Let's go with this expansion in the center here. G5 wasn't too bad. No, of course not. Yeah. He's putting some pressure on me now. Some definite pressure. Well, I'm losing control. I'm losing control because I don't have any time. I don't know how I can manage this in 2 minutes. This guy is just basically laughing in my face. He's just laughing in my face. You thought for 13 minutes, congratulations, you got a winning position, but you can't do nothing with it. Very poor technique. So where to put the rook, on e1 or on f1? I already don't know. Well, okay. Oh, now I cannot play bishop d3 anymore. Of course his idea was to go. Yeah. To go there, that makes a lot of sense. So if he takes, I'll just take like this. It should be fine. And I've got this g-file stuff going on as well, huh? And threatening g7, threatening d5, threatening e5. Okay, queen g6 is also strong. For instance, yeah, okay. I think this should win. Okay, no, maybe, huh? Is there still a double defense here somehow? Rook f6, then I just take on g7, doesn't really help a lot. Then I'm threatening d7 and e5. Yeah, so I've got my bases covered. d4, you know, b2 is protected. Yeah, okay, so let me take here. Threatening d7 now. Sometimes a check on g8 is possible. Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. Come on. So what can he do? Rook f... No, he needs to protect that knight, of course. If rook c7, then e5. Knight e5, pawn e5. Yeah, is that really a good try? Maybe it is. Interesting. Very interesting, but a very difficult move for me to counter. I want to take the knight. He takes on c3. Yeah. Wait, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, let me just take. Okay. This is strong, probably. Oh, I don't have a lot of time. Still not up material. Still not up material. d4 is hanging. It's a problem. I can check. He goes. Yeah, this is fine. Probably check. No, I'm going to lose the f5 pawn then. What? What's he doing now? That's a blunder. That's a serious blunder. Now I'm up a piece. Now I'm up a piece. That's a horrible blunder. Yeah. Here we go. Okay, now I can win it, yeah, in the remaining minute. Oh, my technique is just horrendous. Rook g7 is rook d to g1. If he takes, I go here. Okay, I'm threatening to take the pawn on h6. Yeah, it should just be a simple win now. Well, I mean, with such technique, I don't really know if I deserve to win the game. But then again, you know, it's all part of the game, I suppose. It's all part of the game. Okay. Let's just take. Let's just play this. Okay. Well, thank you. No, I'm not playing a rematch. I'm sorry. It's time to analyze now. See what happens. See what happened, rather. So the way we played in the opening there is interesting. Let's go back all the way and open the book. Let's ask the master database first, huh? I played only one inaccuracy. Oh, so I was a little bit too stern on myself. Only one inaccuracy. Well, let's click it. I'm very curious to know what was the inaccuracy. C takes d5. I told you so! I told you so! Let's ask the computer then. E4? E4? What's he suggest? Come on, computer. C5. Really boxing in the king? C5. So how does he feel about e4 then? Also decent. Also somewhere around +3. So even better than my c takes d5. But why is it that I don't understand that c5 is the move then? Well, you're just really taking away squares from the opponent's bishop. For instance, this one. Of course, you keep boxing in the king, but wasn't, yeah, he doesn't really have time now to play this because there's this, and as I said before, g5 is not possible. I take that. If you go here, knight a4 is also very strong. Yeah, and then I would be checking the king before the king finds safety. So bishop g6 is also strong. Knight f4 strong. I did not realize this. But just to take a look at the opening. a6. a6. Yeah, c5 is there. e3 is there. a4 is there. I played. He prefers c5 maybe from a theoretical point of view. Yeah, I should remember that. Okay, e3 is perfectly normal move. His second choice. Bishop g4, not bishop f5. Bishop g4 is maybe slightly less accurate. h3. Now he goes, yes, g4, this is the plan. Knight e5. And what I was calculating, it was this move. And then I was thinking maybe to just win the pawn on d5 or go with h4. The original plan was to go with h4. But now, or later on, I saw that maybe I can play this. You take like this, and then we play this. And I just seem to be winning the pawn on d5 since I'm now chasing away the defender of that pawn. Wait a second, there is this in between move. If I take on d5 with the pawn, he takes on c3 in between. But you can continue like this, and e4 is weak. I do like white's position here. More space, the two bishops, and this queen g4 is really confronting black. Yeah. Okay, but the computer says e6 is even worse. No more games found. Okay, so let's just click away the opening book. h4 is already plus 2.3. h6, yeah. That is maybe just surrendering a little bit too easy. Well, okay, takes, and now, yeah. He even prefers queen c2 slightly, but then I just wondered. I wondered too much here about g4 in this stage. Yes, there is this move and you will crush through with a check. And the reason he starts with queen c2 instead of bishop d3 as I played in the game, which is also not bad of course, is that he prefers to have the queen on g6 instead of the bishop, and that also makes sense. The queen is a strong attacker. Besides, I'm going to castle queen side, so then it's better to have the queen out of the way already. So I would be closer to castling queen side one move. Okay, so let's go with the game. Bishop d3. He plays this move. In and of itself a very interesting idea. Since I was not able to play or to find c5, I played this move. And yeah, as indicated, he should take with the c pawn. That was clearly better. If he takes with the c pawn, he has this opportunity of developing the knight. And I would say that there is a little bit more defense here on the light squares, because later on in the game I managed to put the bishop on f5. So after cd he played ed. Now I'm just taking the pawn, maybe a little bit too greedy. No, that's sometimes funny of Stockfish. Here it says plus 3.1, then I play the move that I played, and it's 3 plus 3. So it should be the top move here, and it's only the third choice here. But anyways, okay, 3.3. King c7. Yeah, bishop d2. Bishop d2 is there, absolutely fine. And now I had another very difficult choice here to make. All these moves going through my mind, but so it's plus 3 and queen f3. Yeah, he doesn't really like it too much. He prefers slightly queen e2, queen c2, but queen c2, you know, then, so what is it I don't understand about these moves if he now takes here? Yeah, of course, then there's this, yeah. As soon as he moves the knight away from f6, okay. That also, to be honest, slipped my attention. It's funny how you constantly look for those tricks on d5, but you don't see them in variations during visualization. No, yeah. Queen f3, not bad. Still keeping the winning advantage, I want to say. Bishop d6, perfectly logical. There was g5 here, but castles is also fine. Rook f8, I saw it coming. I'm just sidestepping. Queen g2 is absolutely fine. Well, I mean, he said that I didn't make any mistakes and blunders in the remainder of the game. But where did black go wrong then? And I just want to see if there were some alternatives to the technical moves that I played. And maybe this plan with f3 was correct. That was also a difficult moment for me. So king b1 is also there. King b8. I could have played this move. Yeah. So f3 or bishop f5. I was doubting. f3. Okay. Queen goes. Just a safety move now. Safety move. A little bit timid, huh? I'm always a little bit timid. Okay. Knight g8. Preparing knight e7. And then I make this move. Sometimes I have this more often. Now I'm counting to put the bishop on d3, for instance, after knight e7. But what do? I play e4, and then I cannot play bishop d3 anymore. So here we go. But this is still fine. He takes, I take with the g-pawn. He goes here, and now queen g. Yeah, okay, here, this was very strong because this is a double hit. This is the only move. Now I'm winning the second pawn, right? Yes, this is the second pawn. This was still very nice find. And again, I was just about to play the more timid move, bishop d2. But, you know, d4 hangs. He can play bishop a3 also here. This move would not have been so strong. Not so strong. So the computer is suggesting this. Okay, but that would make things really quite easy for me. So bishop d3 is also winning, but this is clearly stronger. This move. Here I missed the strongest technical move. No, but d4 is hanging. d4 is hanging. That's also something I don't understand. Okay, rook b3 is the idea. And then I'm hitting... okay, let's see. Let's see. So bishop d4. Rook b3. Oh, okay. Yeah, somewhere down the line, this exchange sacrificed flashed through my mind. But come on. I mean... And then there is this check apparently. Yeah, and that wins the rook. Yeah, okay, okay. I did not have sufficient time to figure this one out. So rook d3. To my mind, that's also an inaccuracy. I played e5. Look at the difference. Plus 2.6 is the difference here. But of course, it keeps the advantage. The rook goes back. And now I was very happy to see that I could retreat the queen, but again it's a little bit timid. In a long play game, I would definitely try and make my pawn moves work. So for instance, this one. But I wasn't sure again. He's suggesting this one, for instance, and then you protect like this. Yeah, okay, queen g7. Oh, come on. e6. And then what happens if he takes? Well, there's also again this check. Then the thing is, I attack, but you block. Check. Yeah, if you interpose, there's bishop f4. No, so you must move the king. I agree. And then f6. Yeah, okay. Okay, this was also... the optimal way to build the advantage. I played this check in the end, not using my pawns. Huh? Again, I have trouble harmonizing, playing with all the pieces. I was very low on time. Yeah, this is just a blunder. He forgets that the bishop on c3 is hanging. He should play this move, and then my idea... correct or not, was to play... Yeah, this was not so correct. It would actually be very bad. I saw that after this I could take like this. Oh, if only he hadn't made the blunder. He could have played like this. I must recapture the queen, and then look at this, look at this. Yes, there is still some advantage left, but boy. You know, this was not completely deserved victory. I played way too weak, I feel. Way too weak. I mean, he's just handing me the victory here with this blunder. Basically just handing me the victory. It's very easy now. Just take the piece and it's over. Yeah, okay. Well, anyways. So where did I think so long? I thought for a very long time about the queen move, wasn't it? Yeah, so here I had 10 minutes 14, and after the queen move 6 minutes I thought for that. That's something to keep in mind, because that is just completely unhealthy chess playing. 6 minutes. 6 minutes about just choosing any of those queen moves. Yeah, I always want to make the very best move, huh? the well-informed move, and it's very difficult. I make it very difficult for myself, because then later on, 6 minutes. I lose time 6 minutes. Okay, maybe it's also partly due to me talking, but hey, that's the format of the video, yeah, then I shouldn't do that. Anyways, still happy that my opponent helped me a little bit, and that I only made 1 inaccuracy. I think it's a decent game to show you guys. Okay, well, anyways, SLC, subscribe, like, comment on YouTube, and I'll see you in the next one.